Salut, chers téléspectateurs.
Hello, dear viewers. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Football Planet, your weekly football show. It's always a great pleasure to have you tuned in as we share together the passion of the most beautiful sport. Coming up in the show, Shocks and derbies, 16 teams, one single winner. CHAN 2018 was officially launched after the draw was held on Friday in Marrakech, Morocco. The groups and the fixtures later in the show. Another final in the continental competition, the CAF Confederation Cup. TP Mazembe tamed SuperSport United by a narrow 2-1 victory on Sunday in Lubumbashi. Details coming up. He did not endure the storm that swept the Elephants. Belgian technician Mark Wilmots was fired as the Ivorian national team coach after the team was eliminated after the 2018 World Cup qualifiers. We'll speak to former Elephants coach Kudio Georges later on in the show. Stay with us. Kicking us off today is the CAF Confederation Cup final, which pits Congolese giants TP Mazembe and SuperSport United from South Africa. In the first leg played Sunday in Lubumbashi, the Congolese side took a 2-1 advantage against the South Africans in front of their home crowd. Pamphile Mihayo's men thus take a step closer to the crown, but the South Africans are far from having their last say, especially as they have an away goal heading to the return leg. Our journalist and correspondent in Lubumbashi, Christopher Chitsamba, have the story.
Small victory but precious for TP Mazembe. The Congolese won 2-1 at home against SuperSport United of South Africa. Both teams will meet again for the return leg scheduled for next Saturday in South Africa. I'm happy because it's still a win and Mazembe is not going to fall victim. I think Mazembe will still develop its game and attack and score just one more point. I think we're going to secure this in South Africa. The South Africans had their statistics on their side because almost undefeated on the outside. Despite this, they remain confident for the return match.
We obviously need to win the game, but most importantly we got that away goal so we can go back home, set up, take a 1-0 lead, look at the video, look at the mistakes we made and make sure we rectify them and hopefully by the end of the game next week we're lifting the trophy.
The Ravens of Lubumbashi will have to face the South African team in the final return, scheduled for November the 25th in Pretoria. They'll be forced to win in the absence of a draw to retain the title won last season.
As we said earlier, despite their victory, the Congolese should expect a very tricky return match against the South Africans, who will try to take advantage of the home crowd and the away goal they scored in Lubumbashi. Final verdict will be determined next Saturday in Pretoria, South Africa. Now let's talk about the African Nations Championship, the CHAN 2018 in Morocco. We now know who will face who in the competition after the draw was made on Friday in Rabat. It's not one of the host cities of the tournament, which brings together 16 teams made up of players playing in domestic leagues of their respective countries. And the least we can say is that things look pretty exciting with a lot of shocks in perspective. A reminder that CHAN will take place from January 12th to February 4th, 2018. And now to the Russia 2018 World Cup qualifiers. We take a look back at the last two games played mid-last week. The match played between South Africa and Senegal, a duel that ended with a victory to the Teranga Lions in Polokwane. The two teams met 4 days later in Dakar for a gala event for Sadio Mane. This was an opportunity for the Lions fans to celebrate their heroes 15 years after the country's first and last World Cup qualification. Jean-David Mihamle, Afola Keolinoi.
Bafana ended their campaign bottom of Group D following a 2-1 defeat to Senegal in Dakar Tuesday night, having also lost 2-0 to Russia-bound West Africans in Polokwane last week. Generally, Senegal plays well abroad, but here in Senegal, sometimes it's like a curse. I don't know why, but today we felt the Senegalese team well in place, who played with a lot of enthusiasm, who believe in its potentiality. Today's victory gives me joy, and the score today is a delight of all Senegalese. I want the players to bring back the cup. Ghana Guy, I'm counting on you. I love you very much. You have to bring me the cup. The match was held at Leopold Sédar Senghor Stadium in Dakar. Sport journalist François Sek wants Senegal to perform well at the next World Cup. In football, there's no logic. We want our players to be at their best, to be able to win or at least draw or even go as far as possible in this competition. Senegal is the third African qualifier for the World Cup in Russia after Nigeria and Egypt, who secured their places during the penultimate qualifying round last month. Senegal will be participating in the World Cup for the second time.
And then a reminder that in the other match, Burkina Faso crushed Cape Verde 4-0 in Ouagadougou. A victory that came still with bitter taste for the Stallions, who are still contesting the decision by FIFA to replay the match between South Africa and Senegal. Senegal and other African representatives to Russia will know their opponents at the World Cup on December 1st, when the draw will be conducted. I would like to remind you that Africa will be represented in Russia by Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria, Tunisia and Senegal, who are waiting patiently for the event in June. On the other hand, the Ivorians are still trying to recover from their elimination by Morocco. And after the unfortunate events, their coach Mark Wilmot was sacked on Wednesday. And this is the question we are addressing today with former Elephants coach Claudio Georges. Thank you, coach, and welcome to this show. First of all, how was your non-qualifying experience, especially with regard to this team, which is full of quality players?
I think it's with a lot of disappointment. I felt the pain, like all Ivorians, to see this great team from Africa behave like a young team in training. I was terribly hurt, but life goes on. We must accept the mistakes of those who gave us this result, although it is not what we all expected. Also, as you said earlier, Ivory Coast can boast of footballers with huge potentials, and we even have choices. Despite every hurdle we face, as a team, we always have a choice. But we were victims of technical supervision that was not up to the task. You really have to call a cut a cut.
And coach, you seem to find it normal the dismissal of the coach. Am I wrong?
I think the coach left too late. We had it in the beginning when Morocco was taken a point by a point. We had the opportunity to move away, and when we agreed to lose this game, we lost against Gabon in Côte d'Ivoire. But it goes without saying that at the level of coaching, at the level of the handling, at the level of the responsibility of the coach, I think that it's been below what a national trainer can be. He lacked responsibility, he missed coaching, he missed even what Africa is about. I think it's a gentleman from another century, from another world, that has come to another planet. So really, there was so much work to be done.
Now you have to find another technician. What do you think is the best profile for leading this team?
But not me. I cannot give my opinion because the Federation does not listen to me. Otherwise, I would have said that we must take someone from the Seraglio or college coaches with real instructions, especially with his work. It can be managed by a local. We have quality players, but also we must say that it takes someone who has the grip to be able to drive them. Do you see what Hef Renard was able to do with our teams in Ivory Coast? It is a gentleman who is not temperamental, but one who knows what he's about in the world of football. All that I ask is one who has real convictions and can really minimize uncertainties.
Thank you, Coach, for speaking to us. That was Kwadio Georges, former coach of the Ivorian national team. Mark Wilmots therefore leaves the Elephants after 7 months with a catastrophic record. A win, as many draws, and 4 defeats, including 3 at home. In brief, Kenya have a new coach in Paul Put. Paul Put is the former coach of the Gambia and Burkina Faso. The Belgian technician was named head of the Harambee Stars on Saturday for 2 years with the aim of leading the team to qualifying for the next AFCON for the first time since 2004. We've come to the end of this week's program. Remember, you can always find it on our website, www.africanews.com. You can also react through the contact addresses that appear on your screen. Victor Muisio will be with you next week, same time, same channel, Africa News. As for me, I'll say see you soon. Thank you.